Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and I want to make something today that everyone loves. Babies love it, kids love it, grown-ups love it. I mean, anybody loves it. And it also complements the Potato Pancake Pillows perfectly. What we're making is something that originally starts out on a tree that you pick, and then you pop it into a pot, you bring it to some pressure, and then you mash it together. Yes guys, I'm talking applesauce. We're gonna take these apples and make them into sauce. Let's go right to the Instant Pot. You're gonna see how easy this is and how much better it tastes than the stuff you get from the store. Alright guys, we're going to start off with 10 apples, and I'm using 5 Granny Smith apples, which are the green ones over here, and 5 Fuji apples, which are the reddish green ones over here. Now you can use a combination of any kind of apples you want, but make sure you use 10, and I do recommend using at least a few Granny Smith in there, because they give that applesauce flavor we all know and love, and they're also the same apples we typically use inside of an apple pie for the filling. They have a little bit of a tartness to it, but also some sweetness. All apples slightly vary, but I do recommend putting some Granny Smith in there. Alright, enough of my talking. We're going to take these apples and peel them, core them, and chop them up into slices just like this. Now to our Instant Pot, we're going to add a half a cup of water, a quarter of a teaspoon of kosher salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and then mix all that together so it gets nice and dissolved up in the water. Perfect. Now we're going to add in our apples. Just lay them out like that, and over that I'm going to pour 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of a good maple syrup. There's actually no need to stir this, so let's put our lid on top and make sure we are in sealing position right this way. And now I want to come down to my control panel and I want to hit the manual or the pressure cook button depending on your model. The pressure cook button's usually over here in the other models. Hit that button and adjust the time so we're on 5 minutes, high pressure, and that's it. Alright, so you might be asking right now, but Jeff, are you sure you put enough liquid in that pot? That was a lot of apples you put in there and only a half a cup of water? Are you sure it's going to come to pressure? And the answer to that is yes. Not every recipe, contrary to popular belief, needs to have a minimum of 1 cup of liquid in there for things to come to pressure. And here's why in this circumstance. These apples are full of water inside of them already. As it's coming to pressure in the pot, which that half a cup of water will absolutely let it achieve, those apples are going to release their waters in there. So when we actually take the lid off when it's done, you're going to see there's a lot more liquid than you actually thought there would be in the first place. Really kind of cool stuff. So to bust that myth, while it's very common to use at least 1 cup of liquid in many recipes, not every single one requires it, such as this applesauce right here. And now that we're done cooking, we're going to allow a 5-minute natural release. That means we're going to wait until that reads the number 5. This now counts up time when the time is finished with the pressure cooking, and that means it's going to show when 5 minutes has elapsed. And now that 5 minutes of natural releasing has passed, we're going to finish it off with a quick release. And now that our pin is dropped, let's take our lid off. And there we have it, our beautiful apples. And look at this, like I said, look at all this liquid we have in here now. You see that? Half a cup of water? Pshh, now we have tons of it because of all the water that was in the apples. So look at this, it's already practically sauce. You can actually totally just leave it how it is now. If you like it really chunky, it'll be the perfect consistency. But if you want it really nice and pureed like you would normally get it in the store, well, it's gonna require one little thing. So now let's take our immersion blender and turn these apples into sauce. I'm going to take my immersion blender and I'm going to start blending. Alright, and there we go. Applesauce. Now look at that. Beautiful, smooth, silky applesauce. Just how I love it. Again, if you want it chunkier, just don't even use the immersion blender or just blend it very, very lightly. But I like it like this. Now, applesauce, if you want to sweeten it up a bit, requires a little bit of honey. So if you want to do that, add about 1 to 2 tablespoons worth of it, and then just, do it and then stir it and try some of it to taste, and then add more if you want. Always start out with less. It's harder to go back in time. So now guys, let's put this in a container and then let it set in the fridge until it's nice and cool. So I've transferred my freshly made applesauce to a nice Rubbermaid type container like this, or Tupperware, whatever. It's like the 50s, Tupperware. And you could also put it in some mason jars with a secure lid, and I'm going to put a lid on top of it here, and I'm going to now pop it in the fridge overnight so everything starts to thicken up and sets, and all the flavors will really melt together and the sweetness is going to come out. And then I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator and I'm going to leave it in there overnight, and I'm going to check on you in the morning when you're nice and cool. See you soon! Alright, now it's time to take you out and try you out. Can't wait. And now that it's out of the fridge, I'm gonna pop the lid off and oh boy, well, it pretty much looks exactly the same as before, but it's thickened up really nicely like a beautiful applesauce. Look at that. Alright guys, let's try some of this out. Hey, you know me, I love this part. Alright, I'm gonna try some of this delicious applesauce out. You know, I didn't even put any honey in this at all. There's enough sweetness from the apples themselves, and I'm telling you, if you're gonna taste this right when it's hot and you take it out, it might not taste that sweet to you, but I'm telling you, it needs time in the fridge to cool down and all meld and come together for the flavor and the sweetness to really come out. Remember, apples are pretty sweet as they are. When you bite into an apple, there's an element of sweetness to it. So picture it, 10 apples combined together with some of the spices we put in there, it's gonna make a delicious, naturally sweet applesauce. It's perfect. It's like the smoothest applesauce. Oh, that's lovely. And you're gonna be able to put this on some potato pancakes or latkes. You can eat it as it is. You can feed it to a child, a baby, your grandma, your lover, whatever you want to do. But the point is, this stuff is creamy, it's phenomenal, it's healthy, it's all natural. And it's so much better than the stuff you would buy in the jar at the supermarket. I am sold. I will never make applesauce any other way ever again. Guys, if you like these recipes that are easy to follow with a video to accompany each and every single recipe, go to PressureLockCooking.com, hover over any photo on any recipe, you're going to see a little save button appear in the upper left corner. Hit that and you can pin the recipe to any Pinterest board that you want. Go to my Facebook page and like the page. That's Facebook.com/PressureLockCooking. Tons of live updates, live specials, new recipes that come out, live videos. I have all that stuff for you guys right there. You're going to want to like that page. And then follow me on Twitter at PressureLock, on Instagram, and certainly subscribe to me on YouTube. You don't want to miss any of that stuff, guys. I got you covered. Applesauce will show you who's boss. All right.